Welcome to 5 Strike Weekly. Game 1 didn't go as planned, but its back's against the wall now. How do we force a Game 3? Getting all that more coming up. Before we get into it, become part of the notification squad by hitting the bell next to the subscribe button on YouTube. Welcome to the show, 5 Star Fam. I'm AJ, and this is Michael. And Atlanta United unfortunately lost Game 1 at Chase Stadium against Messi and Inter Miami. And we'll have that review right after we give some major shout-outs to our Patreon fam. Most notably, Gavin, Jordan, Niall, Andrew, Chris, and Nick. You guys are freaking legends. But, so it is, kind of what most people expected probably, and probably betting odds as well. Except every other MLS fan definitely was rooting for us. But, unfortunately, we gave our best crack at it. But a Jordi Alba screamer, unfortunately, was our undoing. And, if it's not Lionel Messi, I mean, I guess you take one of the other Barca boys as... okay, you can accept it maybe, but it's still, it is a heartbreaker for a lot of reasons. But kind of going into this massive underdogs, where the lowest seed we would, if we advance, we would play on the road for every other game or besides the one this weekend. So, it is an uphill battle for sure, but Brad Guzan didn't seem so. He didn't think that that was the case. He absolutely stood on his head. He was, it's one of these, like, it's a revelation how good he has been this season. Because last season was just so big of a stark difference, but he was massive in this match. And he set a new club playoff record with 8 saves. Obviously, he's been our goalkeeper for pretty much the majority of the time. So he's just really, competing against himself. But, it is where we go down in the first 2 minutes. Within the first 2 minutes, Luis Suarez is able to be Luis Suarez. Super clinical in the box. We got carved up super quickly with a bad giveaway just outside of that box. And Schliess unfortunately with a poor giveaway, and Gregerson couldn't mark 2 people at the same time, unfortunately. It was carved up way too simply, and it looked like it was gonna be a little bit of a rout. So thankfully, we kind of stuck in the match. We grew into it. But, Michael, give me your overarching thoughts on kind of, how we started this match and, kind of what your thoughts were.
Going into this match, I think, like most people, I didn't have high expectations. I think we did reasonably well considering what we were up against and our history so far in this season. How tired we were. I think that's probably the biggest factor in this game. I mean, obviously we're going up against the Barca boys, so that's a big factor too. And we saw it with Jordi Alba just breaking us down with a long-range shot. But I think a lot of what happened was due to the fact that we weren't fit. A lot of our guys were on heavy legs. The beginning of the game, with that unnecessary, unforced error by Schliess in the very beginning to basically give them a walk-in goal. One of the best goal scorers to do it ever, of course, gets the ball and was able to just kind of waltz in. That's never going to end well for you. So, Schliess in the post-game, or not actually post-game, the interview that came out in the week leading up to the game, he said that, he took it on the chin. Like, that goal was his fault. And he said, you just got to keep going. And that was very professional from him. Don't let it get under his skin too much. It sucks. It hurts. It's not the way you want to start a game. He even mentioned this is, in a game against a team like this, in a situation like this is the worst possible thing that could happen, and he was the author of it in his mind. So that was, like I said, very unfortunate. But he seems to be over it very quickly, which is good. A lot of this team has had problems over the last few seasons of not getting, their right mind states for big games and for big opportunities. So hopefully he's able to, as he kind of alluded to, can get over it, and he's right as rain for the next game with the right mindset, and we don't make these silly mistakes in the beginning. Because as our Patreons like to say in the post-match reactions, this is, Miami does not need any help. They don't need any gifts. We need to stop giving them gifts. We need to just... Rob and Guzan, they both said that the goal in the very beginning of the game is to survive the onslaught that Miami is going to throw at you. Just survive, hold on. Unfortunately, we weren't able to do that. Capitulated immediately from an unforced error. So hopefully, though, that the message has been heard, the lesson has been learned, and players are able to easily turn the page and can come to the next game with not having that happen again. And actually kind of, turning the chapter to us being on the front foot and being the protagonist.
Yeah, and hopefully so. But yeah, I mean, we definitely grew in this match. It was where, I mean, man, Dax McCarty rolling back the years a little bit as well. Sergio Busquets, who? Just kidding, obviously. But it was a very good performance by McCarty. Spraying the ball really well. Looking sprightly. I mean, yeah, one of the ones that actually had his legs underneath him, and was using his energy. And it kind of led to our goal there, which McCarty, he was able to get into the final third there. And this is the 39th minute. Got off a pass to Amador, who has been just immaculate this year with his left foot. Obviously, there's some people that are saying like, oh yeah, he's on such a cheap wage, and 6 assists already. Possibly can he keep it up? Is he gonna always outperform his contract? But I think it's also this, he has a mid-season contract, so he's gonna be paid more. It's not just gonna be $250,000, but still, value for money, very much so. But as far as my mic is attacking me, caught it. Amador was able to pretty much dribble inside a little bit and played a brilliant through ball to find Saba Lapsanite, who's making a very smart run, kind of diagonal run, able to finish it off with his left foot. Incredible stuff. I mean, into the bottom right corner. And, 1-1. Game on. And it's like that at the half. And, a little bit of momentum. We definitely needed to look to try to utilize that in the second half. But, it really just didn't seem like it was maybe in the cards for us energy-wise, even though we brought on some players that I think in theory maybe could have, but Moranchuk subbed off, and also Fortune as well, guys who have played a lot of minutes in our midfield over the past week. So I mean, it's understandable. But Silva not really match fit, asked to play a 45. Muyumba not really in the good graces, probably, I would say. And so, he also, came on. Both of them a little lackluster in terms of, where we really want them to be at. They obviously made a huge impact last year for us, but this season it's been kind of underwhelming for both of them. But, it is where... man, we kind of were sat kind of pretty far back. We just kind of really sat off, and Jordi Alba was able to find that space. And yeah, we just didn't close down fast enough. Jordi Alba, quality with his left foot, all the way pretty much towards the middle of the box, kind of right of the D a little bit more. And yeah, not a spot that you exactly expect him to show up, but anybody that knows Jordi Alba knows he's got the quality. And yeah, it is a seeing eye missile that Brad Guzan, who had been stopping everything pretty much all night except for the ones that are pretty much givens. I mean, it is that, Montreal, when we played them, it was okay. Yeah, the game plan is always to shoot from distance on Brad Guzan. That does seem to be known as the weakness for Guz, but man, this is hard done. Like he couldn't have stopped this. Like, this was really not his fault. Like, both goals, not really, I think, something that he could do anything about. But what were your thoughts on Jordi Alba's goal?
Yeah, I agree with you full-heartedly. They were not on Brad Guzan at all. It's just, I mean, we knew Miami was going to score in such a fashion that would be like, you just kind of have to tip your hat. There's not much you can do about it. They're just going to do that. And so you kind of have to build in an insurance goal to match that. You gotta score at least 2 goals to be competitive against Miami at any given time, because they will minimum score some just unstoppable goal against you. And unfortunately, we gave them a free goal in the beginning of the game, and then the inevitable happened. One of the Barca boys, they were able to just do what they do. So
yeah,
I mean, it's like, you're right. We gave them, I think some of the, who is it? Maybe Dax said, like, maybe we gave guys a little bit more respect, like, and maybe talking about, maybe talking about him and then not, stepping to him because he's so far out, and maybe because of his tired legs or what have you. But like, that shot, I mean, he's, if that happens, there's just not much you can do about it. I'm not gonna blame really anyone, and it's just, that's why you can't let that early goal in. You can't give them anything, because they're gonna take something, and you got to have at least 1 goal to to match it. So unfortunately, we just weren't able to. I mean, it's amazing we got 1. I thought that was really awesome, and I'm like, wow, we have a chance here. But I knew, since we gave him that free goal in the beginning, that inevitability was coming, and sure enough, Jordi Alba.
Right. Especially, I mean, they had 22 shots on the night. I mean, 11 on goal. I mean, they were getting at us. They were using that possession, and they were, frankly, dangerous. And yeah, they absolutely won that second half. Unfortunately, we, maybe didn't look completely bereft, but yeah, we lost the second half for sure. Not only on the goal, but because it is also this. It's like, Guzan made some incredible saves, some good, parry outs, some, good saves for, Messi shots. Pretty much he kept him out, which was incredible. Came out like a sweeper keeper, and, was really making sure that on counters, on a couple of them, that, he won those balls. So yeah, it's really like Brad Guzan really couldn't have done very much more.
No, I mean, he did more than most keepers would probably do against Lionel Messi. Like, he's in his mind, he's like, I'm just gonna stop. I'm gonna make sure Lionel Messi, if we're gonna lose, it's not gonna be because Lionel Messi gets like a goal on me or something. And of course, he was able to stymie him completely, and it was amazing to see. It's just all the other things that happened, but I mean, that one thing, he was determined would not be the undoing of us.
Which, in theory, it's like, if you can keep Messi out, pretty good.
Exactly.
But it's the rest of Inter Miami, and that's why they've been so good this season. That's why they had 74 points this season, is because even without Messi, it's been steamrolling for most of the competition. So it's super duper difficult. But and then yeah, it doesn't really help when you keep dropping like flies in you're in your defense. So Brooks Lennon getting injured, seemingly
Getting totaled,
yeah,
man.
but dislocating his
That
shoulder. His timeline we're gonna get into. Stian Gregerson having to come off. Looks like a little bit more. It was fatigue from all the travel and playing, but we'll see. That was seemingly a hamstring. And then, yeah, I mean, you have kind of a makeshift defense at that point. And, yeah, Luis Abram coming in, Noah Cobb coming in, Saba having to play as a wingback. I mean, you also have Ronald Hernandez, who's out with the flu. I mean, we went up against it in this match. And, for it to just be 2-1, it's merciful.
I mean, and to be honest, it was I think, like I said, it wasn't as bad as like, okay, we're down 1 in the series, kind of relates to us. I think it's more like if we look at it in terms of we kept Miami to really only 1 good goal, and that goal was kind of a world beater. So, I mean, they didn't like have that team interplay where they were able to just completely systematically undo our defense and just kind of run up the score. We were able to stop that for the most part, that is incredibly, that's an incredibly optimistic thing for us going forward. If they have to rely on wonder strikes to beat us, and gifts apparently, I don't think that puts them in a super advantageous position. Yeah, they're the best probably team in the league to be able to do that if they need to. So of course it's going to be still dangerous, and you got to make sure you don't let them get on a heater, because then they're just going to start like goal 1, goal 2, and just keep going. But I mean, like I said, our performance tells me that we are able to keep them at such a distance that they have to rely on these like kind of crazy shots or crazy opportunities. And, of course they have a high chance of getting those, but we're not getting broken down systematically. And that's really, I think, an optimistic thing for us.
I agree, but then there's also they were pretty lucky not to have scored more because it is Brad Guzan saving a bunch of them. XG at 3.5 for them, us only 0.7. So we didn't create that much in that sense, and it is that I think this scoreline simultaneously flatters us, but also gives us, I think, a good bit of hope, because it's the odd thing that, yeah, I think we were able to, not only with Brad Guzan, but I think limit them to a different type of shot. Where, I mean, I think they were trying to hit us on the counter a lot more, which actually is interesting. Like, their best chances were from the counter, or from a kind of maybe mid-block to a counter, not really like straight from playing defense. So it is definitely interesting that it looks simultaneously bad in the sense that we got pummeled with shots, but we were able to, I think, keep them at bay enough, even with a makeshift defense. And I think it's not only on Brad Guzan. So yeah, I mean, it is. Whew, man. This is that type of match that everyone on the team, they're saying, quote, "We've got to keep our heads up." This is Brad Guzan. You've got to go again. I think I mentioned a week ago, I think before the Montreal game, we've had our backs against the wall for quite some time now. When our backs have been against the wall, we found a way. I think that's the mindset. That's what we have to do. Is when we know there is no tomorrow, we have played so much better. And so Rob Valentino, Brad Guzan, they've all kind of I think made sure that they want the fans to know that they need to be at the stadium, and every bit of I guess vernacular, the dialogue from the social media as well, is pretty much that what Rob Valentino says here. He says, "I can't wait to see them." Talking about the supporters. I'm already buzzing about what the place is going to be like. That's what my message is to them. These people are waiting to cheer for you. You've been 3 on the road to finish into the playoffs, and they've put these performances together, and you can feel the buzz getting back for them and supporting them like they do. So yeah, absolutely. I mean, we need to absolutely support them. All 4 force, the 300s are going to be opened. I mean, yeah, could be 70,000+. How many of those are going to be pink shirts? This is going to be interesting. That or maybe the black shirts from Inter Miami. But either way, yeah, if you're...
Or they have those green shirts,
yeah,
too.
they do. But yeah, if you're an Atlanta United fan and you're also a Lionel Messi fan, I mean, just wear your Atlanta United gear and check your Messi fan or fandom rather at the door, and just next time, like he's got enough fans.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, you can be a Messi fan any other day of the year for years, but maybe tomorrow, Atlanta
Exactly.
fan. I mean, not tomorrow.
Yeah,
whenever
not
the game is, Atlanta fan. Whatever you're watching this. Maybe you watch this the day before
Yeah,
the game.
indeed.
Who knows?
Yeah,
Who
you
knows?
just gained like 5 days, so I envy your spot right now. It's quite good. But yeah, so that does it for the match review. It gets us into the news. A little light on the news this week, but yeah, unfortunately, Edward Mosquera, he had, well, I guess, fortunately, unfortunately, however you want to look at it, he has been out with a knee injury. He had successful surgery on his left meniscus. Not sure if that's a tear or not. Probably not, as far as with the timeline that was given. Seems like he will approximately be out the next 4 to 6 weeks, but yeah, definitely will be out for the rest of the playoffs. So, Mosquera, hopefully he will recover soon, and hopefully there is no more complications with that. But yeah, seems like I would say, if there was surgery, I mean, maybe there was some swelling, maybe there was, some maybe fluids. So maybe it's a bit of that.
Are we in doctor's corner now?
I think we're in doctor's corner. I have no idea. I have no idea what to...
The doctor is in, everybody.
what to actually think about that, but I'm just pontificating fully. And, just trying to read it between the lines here. So either way, hopefully it's not a full year of recovery. 4 to 6 weeks seems like it's pretty minor for a meniscus. But...
It does.
Yeah, but so it could be, it was like sore. It was maybe a sprain a little bit. There was some fluids. Yeah. Anyway, but Stian Gregerson, a little update on him. Per the AJC, he suffered a mild hamstring strain. He's day to day. And unfortunately, there's no new info on Brooks Lennon as of Tuesday. Full transparency, when we are recording this. But, yeah, so, Lennon with that dislocated shoulder, I mean, yeah, it looked bad. I mean...
It looked painful.
Yeah, and, it's not as easy as popping it back in. Like,
I like the movies,
exactly. It's not... This isn't Fast and Furious where it's like, oh, yeah, these people are superhuman. And, they could just... take every bit of injury and take it in stride. No, this he will be out for a minute. Yeah,
and even with his adrenaline, he could still see it on his face that it was extremely painful.
And for him to he is a full force runner. He is using all of his arms to he's not gonna be able to run on one arm. Hard to say that. Run on one arm. But, yeah, so definitely, best of luck to Lennon in his recovery. I think he's probably out for the playoffs as well, but we'll see. And, yeah, it is a question whether he will be out, or rather, if this is the last appearance for him in Five Stripes. So, we'll see. But, Moving on to some of the press conferences this week, and Dax McCarty saying yes, kind of echoing what Valentino and Guzan have been saying. We'll have more energy, we will have more life, we'll have 70,000 people behind us. But like at the end of the day, we are at home and we want to entertain our fans. So there's definitely that. Schleich also mentioned pressure is a privilege. No one believed in us before the Orlando game, and now on, we are in a very good position in everything, and now we don't have anything to lose because we're 1-0 in this playoff, so yeah, we must come back and nothing to lose. So, it very much is that. McCarty also mentioned with injuries, you just prepare to play. Every player in our locker room should be ready to go. It's that next man up mentality. So, we're at least out of the really toughest stretch of this past recent memory with 3 games in 6 days. Obviously, we have pretty much 8 days for kind of the recovery in between this match and the match over the weekend. So, yeah, it's definitely going to be a lot of relying on the squad, and hopefully they can come through. But Alexei Miranchuk, he also is in the news. He got called up for the Russian national team. He will be going pretty much mid-month in November for a few days. But of course, the Russian national team have not been allowed by FIFA to play games. They are essentially just playing friendlies. So, best of luck to him. And, hopefully we're still in the playoffs at that point. Who knows? We'll see. We can hope all we want. But yeah, so that does it for the news, and it gets us to the mailbag.
Can I just say something really fast? I am gonna miss Dax McCarty when he's gone. When it comes to pressers that he does, because that man is incredibly well spoken, incredibly smart. No wonder he's got a podcast. It's wonderful listening to him, seeing him break down things, giving us a window into what's going on in the club and the inside. I wish he'd been here longer. That's all the teams that he has graced over his career. They really had something special in him, especially as a communicator to the fan.
It did. Yeah, and I could see him maybe being a pundit for the league at Apple TV. I think he's got that personality, and also, like you said, very well spoken. So it is something that I could see, and yeah, he could grace the entire league with his analysis. But yeah, so let's get into the mailbag, and you guys send in these questions through IG Story and Discord. Please continue to do so, and we might answer your question in the future. So, first question comes from YLJ Novak 14. And it's a little wacky of a question, but would the decision of Cohen and goal be too risky, or the smart option for Saturday, knowing his prowess, I guess? I didn't really get to finish his question on IG Story, but yeah, I mean, if you want to answer this question, it's a bit wacky, but
I don't want to be like condescending or pedantic or anything, but I mean, if you think Cohen would play in the next game, you haven't been really paying attention to our games recently. I think that Guzan has, like, the Guzan-essence is very much here, and to think that he needs to be not playing in the next game is just, I would just say, ludicrous. It's on its face ridiculous. So yeah, absolutely not Cohen, absolutely Guzan. And I hope again to see another amazing performance from him, because hell knows we're gonna need it.
Indeed. Because Cohen, he's pretty much he has proven he's not really better than Guzan at this moment. I mean, I think as far as the ball at his feet, As far as the confidence from the rest of the team, I think you can kind of see and feel it. That there is a bit of a worry with him on the ball, and yeah, with some saves too. I mean, Brad Guzan has made pretty much nearly most every save that you'd expect him to make and more, and so yeah.
The guy is saving penalty kicks at like an insane clip. Like it's
Like,
and he never did this before.
right.
So
Yeah, it's like I think people are just seeing score lines and they're like, "Oh, Guzan sucks." Like, why are we getting score? It's like that. I think it's the easy way to go about it, and yeah, it's unfortunately, I think just kind of lazy. But next question.
I mean, if it is, they just didn't see the game, then that's just what it was. Like, because that screams to me that they just weren't really paying attention.
Which all good. But next question comes from Rodi Enestrosa. He asked, regardless of the outcome Saturday, does Guzan have another season left? I mean, go ahead.
I think so.
Go ahead.
I think so. Yeah. I haven't seen anything this season that would make me think, yeah, let's move on from him. This isn't the last 2 seasons, before this where it was like, oh my God, what is going on with Guzan? I mean, obviously, he has come back clearly from his injury. They say a lot of times it takes like a year or so for you to fully bounce back, and apparently that's what happened here. Because he, in my estimation, is fully back. People are saying, and I think the statistics might even bear it out, that he's better than he has ever been in MLS right now. So I don't know what to account or how to, say what caused that or what have you, but I guess it is. I mean, if I'm going to wager a guess, it's what everyone talks about with him: his legendary doggedness, his legendary work ethic, his competitive nature. All of these things, I think, are probably what's willing him to just be a tour de force in the net for us right now. And like I said, we really need it.
Yeah.
Right.
And to be fair, to Josh Cohen, is that I think, his inclusion in the roster has brought more competition for Brad Guzan, because I think, probably the going in this season, I think most people were thinking, okay, Josh Cohen, he's got the shot stopping ability, so he should be able to usurp Brad Guzan, at least on that. But, I mean, yeah, competitive nature, and, even at 40, like, again, goalkeepers can play for a very long time. Like, 40, yeah, you still might even have a couple years. Like, it, depending on those, the goalkeepers. I mean, if you're Gigi Buffon, obviously, that's, you can play for a very long time. But, I think it's...
I mean, maybe... Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, well, I mean, go ahead, man.
I was going to say that, maybe it's all that, like, like Doug Roberts and other people asking him in the press conference, like, so are you thinking about retiring? And, what's that look? Have you thought about that? Maybe that's what's got him, all fired up. And he's like, oh, I'll show them. Like, maybe that's what it is. And that, it's just the competitive nature once again. So, and it kind of is difficult for Josh, talking about him for a second, that, he's having a hard time being able to get opportunities to show us what he's made of, because Brad is doing so convincingly well. And that can be difficult and frustrating for him, because he may very well be better, than he has been showing us, but he's just not able to kind of get there by being used repeatedly in high pressure situations, and just not getting that experience. So it may, I remember me saying, like, it might take half a season for him to become the starter. Obviously that just didn't happen. It might take a whole nother, season or half season for him to really, get a hold of a spot to start showing what he's truly capable of, besides it being in, Open Cup matches or Leagues Cup matches, or things like, that you're just having more regular time. Yeah, it's when you have a goalie going performing like Guzan, it's just hard, so, to a degree, I want to say, it's not that Josh is bad or something like that. It's just he's not able to really get better.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment anyway, and he hasn't uh,
Yeah.
risen up to the standards that Guzan is setting. So, and Guzan, he does have an option, I believe, for next season, and so, yeah, it might get picked up. If, who knows? But I think with the performances,
I would think it'd be silly not to, because why would you want to? You're getting so many new players in. Why would you want to add to that list? Just you want to have goalie not be one of the things you're worried about.
It's possible, and we'll see if that is the case of what they're thinking is, or maybe possibly there is some future thinking by the front office. So we shall see. But next question comes from Land Guy and ATL. Will Dax start? We will talk about that in the match preview. So we'll just wait one more segment. But Wilbert TR or Wilbert R _ asks, what positions are we lacking in and need to truly enforce? Yeah, we'll talk about that in the off season. I think we're a little ahead of that. We still have a game to play, so let's not talk about what we need to reinforce quite yet. Even though I think there's some obvious ones that we could talk about, but yeah, stick around for the the postseason content that no doubt we will give you. But
and catch our post game live streams where we do talk about things like that. Like needing a proper number 9.
Exactly. So that does it for the mailbag, and now it gets us to the match preview. 7 p.m. Saturday, November 2nd. We are in November. Wild. Raise your hand if you thought that we would be playing into November. No one is raising their hand, just if you are listening on the podcast. But yes, at the Benz versus Inter Miami, 9th in the East versus the Supporters Shield winners. They, of course, won Game 1. And that last 6 unfortunately reads more like this now, where Miami have won 3, we've won 2, and we've drawn 1. So they've won 50% of the games now in the last 6. So it was always a little tenuous in terms of our dominance, quote unquote, of Inter Miami. It was only this season, really, but yeah, and as far as kind of what there is to say for Inter Miami, I mean, besides the injury to Ian Gray, which was very difficult to see, and hopefully he has, hopefully a very swift recovery, and maybe can play the rest of his career. It's tough at this point, but obviously really, really hard to see that happen. A person that is now going to be on his 4th ACL surgery. That's just insane. At 22 years old, I can't even fathom that. But anyway, as far as Inter Miami, they're looking pretty healthy. They didn't really have the injury scares like we did in this match, but as much anyway. And I mean, for us to force a Game 3, we absolutely have to win this match. It is the same kind of structure for this match. If it is tied at the end of regulation, it will go into penalties. So yeah, we absolutely we have looked good in penalties. I'm not really hoping that we do that. That's
I'm not sold. I'm not sold on that. I mean, I felt like that game was some kind of fluke. I needed more information. I need more data before I can say I'm confident in our penalty taking abilities.
Yeah, I don't know if I would need more data this year. So let's if we can avoid more penalties, I'm gonna hope for that. But so hopefully we just win this match cleanly. But what do we need to do to make that happen? Well, I think if we can kind of replicate some of the the things that went well for us last time they were at the Bends, which I think is a little bit of that, playing a mid block. Maybe also where, if we can really make sure that there's a lot of space between their midfields and their forwards, I think that's where we can really be dangerous and hurt them. Because, Suarez, Messi, they'll have 8 days of rest as well. But I think, if we can make them work, that's really where we might have a chance. I think that's all we can really hope right now, though, is that we have a chance. Because, yes, we're at home. It's not exactly been a fortress. And, I think there's a lot of distrust in the fans, unfortunately. With, kind of how well the team can reliably play at the Bends. So there's a lot of things that are going to come into play here. But as far as, how we've been able to attack Inter Miami, it's been those balls over the top. It's been those balls in behind. And we absolutely should try to play as many of those type of balls as possible, because I think that's really where we can do the most damage. It is Inter Miami. They're just so good in so many facets. Set pieces as well, controlling the game with possession, scoring from distance, working their way through the lines by, just like playing inside the box as well. We can't sit. It's not something that we should do. I feel like, when we sat, they're going to take some long shots. And, you see the quality. It's they have guys that can absolutely punish you for doing that. And then, it'll be interesting if we see Julian Gressel in this match. Obviously, he was burned at the Bends pretty handily. But it will be a matter of, if, Pedro Amador can do the same against him. Pretty pacey, Amador is. But, if Gressel plays, I don't know. I don't know if he will play, to be honest, unless he's up. But it would be another homecoming for Julian Gressel and Tata Martino, of course. They both got pretty decent ovations last time they were at the Bends as well. But what do you feel like LA United need to do in order to kind of really give themselves the best chance to get the W here?
I think the two best ways that we can score in against a team like this is the Pedro Amador to Saba Labjanize connection. I think that is definitely one way to hurt them. For whatever reason, Pedro can just, with his left foot, put that ball wherever he wants to in just incredibly dangerous scenarios for us. And Saba eats that up. Saba's the key here. He scores against Miami regularly, and we need him to do it again at least once. And the other way to score is from a set piece. This is a stronger argument when we have Stian in because of his height. However, we don't, so it's a little less strong, but I still think with a player like Moranchuk on full rest, he can be quite dangerous putting it on target. He's done it in the past. So those types of scenarios, trying to solicit fouls near the top of the box, I think is really, really helpful. And also just Pedro getting the ball to Saba in dangerous scenarios, because we know he can do that. And we know what Saba does and how he scores against Miami. So those two ways, I'm looking specifically to see if we can score off those.
Indeed. We'll definitely need to make sure that connection persists. I have a kind of bad feeling that Inter Miami will hone in on that. But, I think they know Saba kills them every single game. And, I think his movement has been undetectable for his goals. And I think that's really where he has been dangerous there, and Amador with his kind of unpredictable kind of delivery as well. Yeah, that's been really, really dangerous for us. So hopefully we can try to, kind of create more of that. But I think for us, the keys to this game is whatever chances we get, we have to finish them off. We cannot waste chances. I think we've done that way too much this season. And frankly, well, with the types of number 9s that we have in the squad, unfortunately, I don't really see that changing too much. But at least from Moranchuk, from Saba, those two absolutely need to finish off the chances. But as well, another key to this match, I think we need to crowd out Lionel Messi. And, we gave him some pretty good looks in this past match. But, whether we can keep him out in this game, not sure yet. But, he hasn't scored at the Benz, I don't think. So, yeah, even with his time with the national team.
Even in the Leagues Cup game?
At the Benz? I don't think so.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I think he scored in Miami. That was that long distance shot.
Oh, right, yeah.
But, for whatever it is, he hasn't scored at the Benz, and hopefully he doesn't. But, but yeah, let's get into some match facts here. So, Inter Miami, they've been drawing at halftime and winning at full-time in the last 3 matches, in MLS anyway. And there have been over 2.5 goals scored in Atlanta United's last 5 games. So there will be goals. And Inter Miami have also won their last 4 matches. So, yeah, definitely they're on a roll. And, for Inter Miami, the number of players out, I mean, it's a big list, but they also just have so many players that are, just, I think, so dangerous, and it's a reason why they've been so good this season. That even though they have Farias, Frere, Afonso, Sunderland, Dos Santos, Frey, all out, it's still, yeah, I mean, it doesn't even matter. But for Atlanta United, obviously, Mosquera, Quentin Westberg still out with the concussion protocol. That has to be explored, I think, in the offseason, because he's been out for essentially 2 to 3 months. It's, that's outrageous. But Brooks Lennon with his shoulder also out. Stian Gregerson with his hamstring questionable. He's day to day. We'll see. But, let's get into the predicted starting 11 then. So, Brad Guzan, for me, at least, for me anyway. I mean...
Based on my answer earlier, yeah.
But not according to YLJ Novak 14.
I mean... But... Who knows, man? Soccer's a crazy sport. Who knows? You put Josh Cohen in, all of a sudden he stands on his head and blocks all the shots. Who knows?
But, into the fullbacks, I think this probably will be a little easier in the sense of I don't think we're going to be playing 3 at the back. It's possible, but I don't see that. So, Amador as the left back and Hernandez as the right back.
Yeah.
But
I guess he's got his flu under control now.
I would hope.
So,
I would hope by then. Obviously, it's still Tuesday. He was sick over the weekend. I don't think it takes a full week to recover from the flu, but you never know.
My old ass, I feel like it does, but with an athlete, I would imagine he'd be good to go.
Right, hopefully. Exactly. So, hopefully that is the case. If not, man, either we're playing with wingbacks or Edwards is starting a playoff match. So, but either way, into the center backs, I'm hoping Gregerson is healthy, so I'm gonna start him, Gregerson and Williams. But what do you think?
Yeah, he can play 100%. If not, I mean, Noah Cobb did surprisingly. I mean, that feels like it's a slight to him, but it's against Lionel freaking Messi, so it's just definitely not. But but I'd say he did surprisingly well against Miami's attack. So, like that's not a terrible guy to put in if necessary, if it happens, if Stian can't go the full 90 or something. So like but yeah, if you have Stian, you play him, especially for the offensive attributes that he has.
Absolutely, yeah, especially at the bends. He has been imperious on those set pieces. But into midfields, so this is really where it could diverge. And I'm curious, Michael, who do you have? Is it a two-man midfield in terms of central midfield, or is it a three-man central midfield? What do you have?
Yeah, I have Sleesh, and it's unfortunate that Mayamba has fallen out of favor so much. And last time he saw Messi, he just hacked him down in an extremely dangerous scenario. I just couldn't believe he did that. So yeah, there's no way in heck I would start if Fortune can start. That's who I'm gonna ride with.
Yeah, I have those two as well as McCarthy. I think he did really well on our first goal. I think he gave us a bunch of energy and also veteran presence to always be available and spread the ball around. I think, with Fortune, with his ability to kind of float around in different areas, hopefully he can, with the rest, be that extra player to essentially help mark Messi and hopefully play him out of the match. We'll see. That's a big ask. Lesser and greater players have obviously tried and failed against Messi. So no slight against Fortune if he's not able to do that. But I think he has the energy. He has the, I think physicality.
Just tire him out. That's really what it is. Like, it's like tire them out with your young energy, and they won't be able to, catch their breath as much as he can. So just make it easier for your teammates by tiring the beast out.
Indeed. And so, into, maybe pretty much the rest of the lineup, who do you have for the wings?
For the wings, I'm gonna have Saba, the Miami Slayer, of course, absolutely. And left wing, again, it's like the Mayamba and Silva thing. I can't do Silva, based on what I've seen so far. If he's just doesn't seem to be in it, so I can't start him in a playoff scenario. So maybe it's Tyler Wolf or something. Or maybe you reverse them on the sides, but I think it's Tyler Wolf probably. And it didn't do, putting in Tyler Wolf wasn't the worst idea in other games, so I'm willing to give it a shot again. But it makes me nervous a bit.
I think so, yeah. I think he gives enough defensively, but I think there is an aspect of it that will be difficult from an attacking standpoint to keep the ball.
Yeah.
But so for that reason, I am for me, Moranchuk's on the right, Saba's on the left, and
Ooh, I like that.
But
yeah.
Obviously, with your lineup, I think you're having Moranchuk in the middle as the number 10.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
And then maybe we diverge here as well up top. I'm sticking with TRA. I think the space in behind will still be necessary to exploit. So, I think we absolutely need to. What about you?
I think it's clear now that Rob has decided that's what he does, is he starts TRA and finishes with Rios. So I don't see why he would change that now.
At least in this good run a little bit, it's been a bit of that. So, so I think there's that pace in behind. You have the, I think the attacking prowess with the technical ability with Moranchuk and Saba. And, Saba can also hit you on the break as well. So, I think there's some ability to do what we want to do here. And, the odds here, though, also don't read for very pretty. A little bit better than last match, but, according to Bet365, it's 52.6% for Inter Miami. So 20% less of a chance just because we're at home. And for a draw, which obviously, I mean, it would just be only for the end of regulation, but 23.8% and 29.4% for Atlanta United winning. So, yep, it
couldn't give us that 30.
yeah,
Just couldn't give us that.
I mean,
30.
it was. I think it's in decimals, so you know, it's one of those things. I think it was like 1.9. So it's a clean number in that sense. But anyway, those are the odds. So let's get into our score prediction. What do you think, Michael?
I mean, I like to vote with my heart because I want to will it into existence.
Okay.
So I want a 2-1 win for Atlanta. Hopefully we just don't give that gift away and Lionel Messi scores one of his Lionel Messi goals, which is unavoidable, and we find a way to score 2 on them and we hold them to 1. That's my hope. My brain says we're probably going to get defeated, but I'm gonna wish and hope with my heart of hearts that we can pull out an upset and then make this into a game 3, and then man, anything can happen in that scenario. And I want to keep the dream alive of potentially knocking out Lionel Messi's Miami in their first ever playoff. That would just be hilarious to me.
Yeah, like I've mentioned before, the amount of pettiness that would happen on the internet from yours truly will be on a different level. And so I also have that as a 2-1 win. I think with the energy from the fans, I think we can do this. You know, we've done it before this season. It's not the craziest thought, but it will take everything from not only the fans, but of course the players as well. So, you know, let us know what your comments and score predictions are going to be in the comments below, because yeah, I mean, this one's a hard one to predict. I mean, if you can predict this one right, you should absolutely be betting. But you know, it's one of those. I mean, I bet the previous match correctly, begrudgingly, but you know, hopefully there's more you know, more accuracy, I think, in this one as well. So let's go. But yeah, that does it for the match preview and essentially the entire episode, except for the question of the day. And the question of the day is, will there be more Messi fans or Atlanta United fans at the Benz on Saturday? Let us know in those comments below. And, you know, it's also a pointed question as well to make sure that if you are a Messi fan, don't show up with that Messi jersey, all right? Don't do it.
Because AJ will pick you up and throw you. I'm just kidding.
I wish I was that strong, but yeah, no. But we'll throw you on the pitch and we'll get you thrown out of the entire stadium. All right. So, but anyway.
Yeah, wear your red, black, and gold. That's what they had put out. That's what they want us to wear. So, you know, try to stick to that jersey if you have it. And yeah, we'll see you there because AJ and I will probably be there as well. So, it's the last hurrah at home. Yeah, it will be. So. Until next season, so let's show out.
You know, even if we advance, 0 more playoff games at the Benz. So last chance in 2024. So anyway, yeah, so that does it for the episode there and there. That's been Michael. I've been AJ. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you in the next video.